Hi, I'm Sandy Staubenfeld, the Digital Services Specialist for the ICAM, the Indiana Center for Accessible Materials. I, along with Jeff Bond and Martha Hammond, would like to thank you for joining us today for this episode of Patents TV. We are your ICAM Specialist Support Team, and we would like to share with you some updates as well as some areas of support available on our website that will help schools identify, document, and provide resources for students who struggle to read. The ICAM has recently created an AIM, Accessible Educational Materials, Forms Guide for the Case Conference Committee. This guide provides clarification of the AIM process for the Case Conference Committee and can be found on the Patents website. This guide is used when the Case Conference Committee is using the Indiana IEP online system. They will encounter a line that instructs complete the NIMAS order form. This is confusing for some because the forms are called ICAM/IERC NIMAS forms on the Patents website, and there are several which will need to be filled out and uploaded to the Indiana IEP system. This guide is intended to be used before, during, and after the IEP meeting. This guide can be found on the Patents website on the ICAM page. On the right is a menu that says Forms for CCC Meeting. Under that is a link that says CCC Forms. On this page, you will want to click on the link that says Guide when the Indiana IEP instructs complete the NIMAS order form. And then on this page, you'll click the link that says the ICAM team has created a guide. In the beginning of the guide, you will find a number of terms and groups that the Case Conference Committee will become familiar with during the AIM acquisition process. Beginning here at the AIM determination process, the guide takes the Case Conference Committee step by step through the identification of students who need AIM. Followed by certification eligibility, and then the selection of AIM. We cover how to add and update student data, and how to prepare and place an order. Following this is AIM and AT, Assistive Technology Considerations. And then we have a number of additional resources for the Case Conference review. Finally, we have our contact information. We encourage you to contact us if you have any questions or concerns. Next up is Jeff Bond, who will cover certifying a student.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bond, the ICAM Technology Specialist. One recent development that affects who can certify a student as eligible to receive NIMAS-derived files was the passing of the Marrakesh Treaty. In February of 2021, the Library of Congress, based on directives in that treaty, published a new list of professionals who can certify a student as eligible to receive accessible educational materials. Students who have a reading disability, such as dyslexia, are typically not identified until they are in school. Historically, this required a medical doctor to act as a certified competent authority to confirm the need for AIM. On Form 1 of the ICAM website, you can see the long list of professionals includes teachers, reading specialists, school psychologists, and librarians. The goal of the Marrakesh Treaty Implementation Act and the ICAM is to remove barriers to provide AIM for eligible students. This new language is a giant step toward this end.
Hi, I'm Martha Hammond, the ICAM specialist for DRM services. Indiana has a unique system of supports to help your school corporation achieve and maintain compliance with the federal law that requires schools to provide AIM to eligible students. The ICAM acts as a liaison between Indiana schools and the accessible media producers and works through a network of digital rights managers, or DRMs. The ICAM staff prepares school personnel for their tenure as a DRM with training, ongoing support, and the use of our state-of-the-art online ordering interface. A DRM might expect to work with the ICAM, the Indiana Education Resource Center, or IERC, and the Patents Project as they serve students who have print disabilities. So the ICAM has produced another resource similar to the AIM guide that Sandy described that is specifically for digital rights managers. Sandy, would you show us where to find the guide and describe how to use it?
Thank you, Martha. I would be glad to. You can find this new DRM guide on the Patents website on the ICAM page under Inside ICAM. It states new DRMs start here. This guide covers all the information that a new DRM would need to get started. We cover the DRM registration process, registration of students, placing orders, the different formats that the DRM would order, adding a teacher, approving orders that teachers would place. A consideration that is covered here is sample language for contracts and LEA purchase orders. This will require the publishers to submit the NIMAS conformant files to the NIMAC. This is a very important step, and you can find this sample language on our website. If a DRM adds teachers to the system so that they can place orders, we have also created a guide that outlines this process to make it easier for the teachers. This is on our website as well. The ICAM team wanted to remind you that the ICAM was created to help Indiana schools provide AIM to eligible students, and all of our services are free. Please feel free to contact us with any questions or if you need support at any time. On behalf of Martha Hammond and Jeff Bond, and myself, Sandy Staubenfeld, thank you for your time.
Thanks for watching us today. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and patentsproject.org. That's spelled P-A-T-I-N-S project.org.